Bro, legit. I've been so down bad, like so sick and everything. I haven't really been to work since September 9th.
No,
bro.
it's all good. It happens. Yes.
Like horrible.
Motherfucker's not streamed for the first time in ages.
I know. Where the Windu streams at, buddy?
He's streaming right now, and he's putting on beer back screen.
Yeah, so I'll be right back and fully muted and everything while I'm here.
I love it.
Been trying to do a whole day today. Trying
Dedication.
to work our way back.
Dedication. Picasso, I like it.
Yo, so we're live right now, and so what's up to the world? We're live, and let's do a quick mic check.
Mic check.
Testing, 1 2.
Hello, mic check.
1 2.
Check. Okay, let's see. Maybe I should lower mine. Okay.
I was about to say, were you checking while you asked us?
Wait, hold on. I think you're a bit too high as well. Okay, let's see.
Hello, testing.
God
1 2
damn
1 2.
it.
All right,
I know.
I think
A little bit
yeah, I
outside.
think now it's okay.
Always high.
All right.
Always.
Windows always high. You look at him right now. He's got
This is my inside
glassiness.
voice.
It's a wrap.
He's got glassy eyes, my friend.
Homeboy's chiefing right now.
So let's start right here, and yo, what's up? Welcome to Nest Talk, episode 23, and this is the show where we have a healthy debate on all things gaming, and we have a dope conversation on what's trending in the gaming media. Once again, I'm here with my man Agent Deli.
Hello, everybody. My name is Deli. I make video games, and now I hang out on Nest Talk. What's up? Welcome to the show, y'all. Hello.
Bro, I
welcome
thought he forgot his intro.
I just forgot my intro. No, sorry. I told you I was eating, guys.
I had to
I was
look at the
eating.
notepad.
I was eating. Hello. But Joker, welcome back to the show. Always nice to have you
Yo.
back on.
Mhm.
Melodic Punk, hello. It's a familiar face. Always
Hello.
always nice to be able to talk to you. And then Windu, you're all right, man. You're okay.
You're all right.
Hey man,
Yeah.
small victories win the war. That's all I'm saying. We're chilling.
Next week, I'll compliment you. Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah, so it's always a pleasure, Deli. With your insight and your dope gaming history. And so how you feeling today, man?
I'm doing all right. Hope everybody's been well over the weekend. I finished 8 Takes 2 over the weekend, and I think
nice.
I'm gonna finish Kana here shortly.
I see.
Yeah, for Kana, I'm actually still stuck on the last boss. Like, for some reason, that last boss is really, really hard. That's on normal mode. But yeah, we have our guy from the UK, Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Deli, Krow, Melodic, Windu, and chat. But yeah, man, thank you for having me. Always love to sit there and talk to people and discuss, even though my rant goes on for a minute or so. But yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. I always appreciate your presence and your insight, and learning about your dev history is also is pretty impressive as well. And so we have the good homie WinduTheMace. Welcome back.
Appreciate it, fam. What's up, everyone? Cast, viewers. I'm a very sporadic member here, but I appreciate the invite again. Thank you, and I look forward to talking with you guys, man. A lot of spicy stuff has been going on lately, and even completely unrelated. A lot of people might not even know, but even games that I've been supporting with and working with for years, one of those games officially shut down today, like completely. So it's crazy how the gaming world changes, and I'm excited to talk about stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you pulling up. And so Windu, you told me you're from Florida. So how you dealing with the post-hurricane mess that's going on?
Well, I'm good, man. Thank you for asking. Thankfully, we were in the hurricane path, but thankfully we were further enough inland that we didn't really get affected by those ocean waves that came through super harsh for a lot of the coastline. And thankfully on our side, we had solar panels, we got like backup batteries and stuff. So We never really lost power. It might have flickered once or twice. The worst thing I had to do was go outside and cut up a tree that fell. But the house is safe, the family's safe, everybody's good and healthy. So that's all I could really ask for. Thank you for asking, though.
Yeah, that's what's up. It's good to stay safe, and I think Bam Bam also had to deal with the same thing. So hope he's doing all right. And
Little known fact, he lives 20 minutes away.
oh, word! Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Get a drink with them.
Yeah. Bro.
That's
Hey,
crazy,
man.
yo. Oh shit. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. Shout out to the homie Bam. That man is a honest to God, straight up grind businessman. He games a ton. Very educated. But as far as running a business and making sure he stays progressing, that man is an entrepreneur. Nobody can hate on him on that front, bro. The fact that he gets that much gaming time is unreal. That's what I'll say.
He's still a hope.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So we have a really special guest here, the Melodic Punk. Always appreciate your insight, man.
What's going on, everybody? It's Melodic Punk back again on Nest Talk. Hello, Deli. Hello, Joker. Hello, WinduTheMace. It just hit me all of a sudden. I'm like tired now because I woke up at like 4:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep, and then eventually I had to like get ready to go to work and everything. But been dipping my toe into some AC Origins on Series X. Just kind of like trying to get out of the gaming funk a little bit until Modern Warfare 2, Bayonetta 3, and God of War Ragnarok comes out. So we're finally hitting that season where it's getting cold outside. So definitely going to be gaming a little bit more, maybe get some more content out. And on an unrelated note, or maybe a related note if this is a topic, but RIP to G4. Not this iteration of G4, but the previous early 2000s, late 2000s version of G4. It has officially died again today. And moment of silence for it. All right. There we go. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely a moment of silence for G4 as well as I did hear of
Optimus Code.
Yeah, I was gonna say Optimus Code. There was one episode I wanted to talk to you about, Melodic. Actually, you were on that episode of Aegis Live where like Hardade was talking to Optimus about Zelda, the Zelda franchise, and I think someone brought up that if you're a true Zelda fan, you should know the history, like the trivia of Zelda. And I think you were in the chat that time, right? Like when they're talking
I was
about it?
not. I never did AGS. Like I never been a part of the talking panel. I never requested to be in, but I did ask one question to Optimus Code, and that was, "What is Ganondorf's last name?"
Oh,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
he
That's
read
easy.
it. What is Gandalf's last name? And some dude said the Grey. I was like, no, Jesus Christ. But fun trivia. According to the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past manual, Ganondorf's his human form, his last name is actually Dragmire. I did not realize this until I saw Angry Video Games video on the chronological timeline for Zelda, and then I actually looked it up, and lo and behold, Ganondorf's last name is Dragmire.
Bro, I was about to say, I would have guessed he even had a last name.
Nope.
Yeah.
So,
So let's actually start with the icebreaker for today, and that's what have you guys been playing, or have you been watching any anime as of late? So for me, I've been grinding away at Trails of Cold Steel 3. I am about like 46 hours in. Finally got to this third boss that was pretty tough. And the anime that I'm watching right now is actually My Hero Academia, and that season is pretty fire right now. I'm also watching Maggie season 1. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, Joker.
Yo, yes,
Yo.
let's go.
And shout out to your boy Woshi. He actually put me on to that, and it's definitely it's
Maggie is fire, bro. Maggie is fire.
yeah, it's a definitely it's a cool classic story. It kind of reminds me of Aladdin meets Prince of Persia.
No, it's basically like Maggie has very different versions illustrated, right? So there is Sinbad, the Maggie version of Sinbad.
Okay.
Dope.
Yeah.
You should watch that too. Like, it's got its own little thing. You got the other like all these known characters within when you grew up. You know, this Disney versions of this, that, and the other. They have their own take on it, which is spicy, to be honest. So yeah, definitely interesting too. Like Sinbad is OP as shit, and just let me just say that shit.
Yeah, so let's start with Agent Deli, and what have you been playing, or have you been watching any anime?
I've been playing League of Legends and anime. I've been watching Spy Family on Fridays, and I've been watching Chainsaw Man on Tuesdays.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's go with the anime king Joker. Have you been watching any anime or playing any games?
So I still got Overlord to finish. Like I haven't been completely sat down and watched it, so I got to binge watch that motherfucker. Also at the same time, I've been watching Kotaro Lives Alone, bro. Like that is like a chill back slice of life anime that you can just watch and you just like think what the fuck is going on, but at the same time you can just leave it in the background noise, kind of a thing. But gaming wise, I've been playing League, just like Delhi. I think the world's series has hyped us up too much to put
okay.
Nah,
ourselves
man,
in there.
that's that Shwani skin they're giving out for free once you place in gold is what I'm playing.
Yeah, bro. I got hyped up afterwards, and also I've been playing a lot of League on my phone as well with Windu. So, but yeah, that's interesting too. And also I've been sitting there and playing Grid Legend. Like I was able to hop in and play it for the first time day before yesterday. So yeah, man. Definitely a different take on racing, but I'm having fun with it. And I also finished Spider-Man Remastered. So yeah,
Nice.
just getting back into Miles Morales. Need to finish
Hey.
that motherfucker too.
Yeah.
So
I just got the platinum for that not too long ago.
hey, bro, I'm not trophy chasing. Fuck that. No,
I'm not a big
jealous.
trophy chaser, but for Miles Morales, it was easy enough to get.
Oh, okay.
So
I haven't tried it yet. I'm actually waiting on that PC release for Miles Morales. I heard it's gonna
November
be spicy.
18th.
That's definitely could be
We-
fire, yeah. Cause like for me, I don't have a PS5, so I am waiting for the PC port, and definitely tuning in for the PC release. And so let's go with WinduTheMace, and what have you been playing as of late?
So actually, I decided to go on a retro binge. I've been playing Metabots. If you guys remember that TV
Oh
show,
yes.
I've been
yes.
playing Metabots on a Game Boy Advance emulator on my phone.
Oh, I remember that. Oh shit.
Bro,
Yeah.
Yeah, that hood ass Metabee yellow robot. Bro, I don't know why. I was literally just on a moment, and I was like, you know what? Whatever happened to that show? So looked up an episode, ended up downloading the Game Boy Advance game, and I've been playing that while I've been sick and trying to recover from some asthma problems I've had. But I've been going down memory lane, bro. I remember playing that as a kid growing up. I've been having a blast. As far as TV shows, I haven't necessarily been watching any anime at all because I just finished She-Hulk and I'm halfway through Andor right now. So trying to catch up on that side of the coin. But then honestly, there's so many animes out there. I feel like choosing one is even a mistake because there's so many. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. So let's start with our smaller topics of the day, and let's actually start with the Sony revealing the DualSense Edge controller. And so let me switch it over here. Yeah, so actually, they are putting a lot of features into this one. Looks like they are doing the replacement stick modules like they did with the Xbox, Microsoft Elite Controller 1 and 2. Looks like they are doing the whole button remapping, as well as you do get the back pedals. And what I found interesting was that they did have the adjustable trigger stops at the back side of the controller. And the fact that some games do implement the adaptive trigger for some of the games, that's a pretty cool feature, I think. Like they show Returnal here with the adjustable the back sticks. And so how do you guys feel about the DualSense Edge controller?
I'm glad that they waited for the PS5 controller to do something to this level. Quite frankly.
Right. I'm just excited for me to the fact that I don't give a shit that it costs $200, right? Because it's a known fact that most of the Pro controllers are worth about that range anyway. And second thing is that it's fully modular. Like, yeah, I'm definitely copying that shit. I don't care. I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of people are they are dogging on the price here. Like it is 200 bones that you can be paying for the DualSense Edge controller, and
Console price.
Yeah, but I mean, I was literally just in the store. The Xbox, the big Xbox controller is 179. It's
Yeah.
only like $20 more.
Yeah.
well,
It's around the same price range anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought that Microsoft reduced the price of the Elite controller too. I think it's like 149 or how much is the price of that?
Bro, I deadass was just in Target. I saw that thing for 179.
Damn. Okay. I thought it was cheaper.
I mean, if it is cheaper, then I can understand people complaining about it. I mean, I don't really have any stake in the game because I don't buy Pro controllers, so I'm gonna let y'all just roll through with this. I just use the default controllers.
I mean, fair. I think it's one thing to consider that the average person that goes for a modded controller like a scuff controller, and that's what they've had to do in the past PlayStation wise, when they look at this, and even at $200, it's like, hey man, I'll be real with you. I've modded out a scuff controller at crazy. $200, you know what? That shit's pretty clean for $200. Not gonna lie.
Right.
Like if you're that type of player, you'll like it.
Mhm.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
bro, like, I'm definitely going to get it regardless if it costs me £200. Well, for me, it's £210, so I'm still getting that shit.
Yeah, but I do have to say that like is the overall design of the controller, is it going to be like is it going to be well built, or is it going to be the same as the original like DualSense?
I can see it being well built, just for the fact that you have to remove and keep swapping shit around. So yeah, I can see it being very well built. Oh shit, Bam Bam is here. What up,
Bam
Bam
Bam is here, dude.
Yo, what up, man? Yo,
What up,
what's good?
Ho? What up,
Round
Ho?
of
What up, Ho?
applause.
Oh
Hey,
shit, you just pulled up? Yo.
Hey, yo, listen. First thing first, right? Joker know he the hoe and I'm the pimp. Alright? That's Michael Jackson. And
Never
Jay-
been.
Hey,
Never
don't
been.
see though,
Yeah,
you know
listen.
what I'm
Listen,
That's why
yours
Joker
are-
likes those white gloves. Okay, I see the resemblance now.
Fact.
Okay.
And then number 2, Krow, bro. You saw me jump in the chat. How you say what's up to everybody except for me, bro? That's cold blooded, cuz.
Hey, bro.
Wait, I didn't see you pull up yet, yo. Like
Nah, but what's up with y'all, though, man? What's up?
Chilling,
Guys,
bro.
we got
Give
pizza.
me a little shout out there towards the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yo. Introduce yourself, Bam Bam. Go on.
Hey, what up,
Say
man?
it.
You know, man. Hey, man. This is Bam. I'm trash. Don't nobody mess with me. Don't nobody love me. My kids don't like me. My wife don't like me. What's good?
damn.
And he's a Florida man.
Fact.
still a hoe.
Man, I wanna say- Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up, but I didn't know you were free for the podcast, but appreciate
I
you
just put
putting
my
up
kids
here.
to sleep. I just put my kids
Okay,
to sleep. So.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about the DualSense Edge controller, and so what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, you want to ask me, bro? But this is what I think about all these controllers. The Elite controller, I never felt like the $250 or the $200, whatever that amount of money that they wanted for that controller was worth buying it. Number one, because I played video games with people who own that controller, and they still bottom frag, bro. They still butt cheeks at the video game. That's number one. So, and then number two, I was telling people today, I'm like, look, man, if you buy this DualSense Edge or this DualSense Elite, whatever the name is, I need to lobby up with you to see something. Because if you still at the bottom, when a dude like me playing with a PS5 controller with drift, bro, you need to get, everybody who bought that need to get a refund. And when do I'm gonna need you to get a refund? Because I know you're gonna be bottom of the board, booty cheeks. I know it. Can feel it.
And, hey man, we still gotta catch a beer together. We'll
back.
talk. We'll talk.
I mean, but nah, man. But that's really all I think about it. I know these controllers are priced, way more over the standard, and I know it's because of a quality standpoint. But to me, no controller should be worth $200. That's just, you know what I'm saying. That's just what I think about it.
Yeah, I think the price point is just because that's a pretty well established price point in the realm of custom controllers. And whenever these, big names decided to throw their own sense in there, even though arguably this what's it called? The Edge Sense controller? Or the Sense
I
Edge?
think it's called the DualSense Edge.
So, yeah, the DualSense Edge. So even though there's still going to be a custom controller out there that has more features for pretty similar price, I think they're not going to try and disrupt the market because the profit that they're getting out of those is probably insane, to be honest. And so they're probably going to stay very similar to what these all other custom controllers are going. But you bring up a good point, Bam. Most people that get this type of controller is the type of player that says, I would beat you if I had that paddle in the back, though.
Hey, facts. But
You know what I'm saying? So there is a level there that they think that the hardware is going to fix. And if you think the hardware is the problem with your skill, I don't know what to tell you. That's it. But that is a target demographic. The ones that are looking for the extra edge, the reason why they didn't lose. That's the same type of people that are paying $400 a month for internet because they want that low ping. You get what I'm saying?
I also want to ask you guys too, right? Just before we move on, because I know Krow hate when about being here. He'd be like, "Man, Bear be talking too much, man." But real talk though, I wonder to know what everybody here thinks. How do you guys think that the DualSense Edge or PlayStation's variation of an Elite controller would stand up against the quality build of the Elite or of versus a Scuff? Because everybody knows, or at least everybody who I know, everybody who owns an Elite controller, they always tell me that those, like the left bumper or else the right bumper, those buttons always go out on that Elite. And Xbox has a pretty good policy to where like you send it in and then they'll fix it for you. I don't know Scuff's policy, but I haven't really seen any complaints about Scuff. But just to finally land the plane here, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this will be a better quality controller versus the others, or not?
I've been hearing the similar sentiments about that, where it's like everybody I know who has the Elite controller, there's always some sort of problem with it. But I guess with the DualSense Edge, hopefully it's a better built controller for the people that are interested in this. But my next question is what level of PlayStation stars do you have to be to get the best customer service for that controller?
Damn, shots fired, bro.
Is the PlayStation customer support?
Wait, how often do you guys sit on customer support? I have never once reached out to customer support in like the 14 years that I owned a PlayStation.
What?
I've never been on customer support with PlayStation.
Never.
No, I never was.
I just called them like Tuesday to get a refund, but
damn.
Goddamn.
Man, was it a Gotham Knights refund? Be real.
Nah.
Hey, no Gotham Knight slander here. That shit gonna be banger.
But I heard,
I got pre-orders.
I heard that the customer support, at least for like the PlayStation Stars, I heard that you only get benefits whenever you do like the online chat. So that's not even with whenever you call.
Yeah. I see you grinding your ass on that fucking PlayStation fucking Stars, bro. I see your pics.
Oh,
I seen your pics, man. I seen your pics, man.
I'm a level 1. What you talking about?
Yo, it's crazy.
Don't be lying.
What's crazy, them announcing the release date for the DualSense Edge is like literally the same day they were like, Xbox's Design Labs, you can build your own Elite controller right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was real petty of them.
That was like planned out almost.
Yeah, had to be.
I will say dropping after the holiday season is wild. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, you think they would go for Christmas?
Maybe, man. I mean, I don't know.
So yeah, you guys made some good points on the DualSense Edge. I do want to move on to the other smaller topic here. So we do have Crash Bandicoot 4 releasing on Steam on October the 18th. So that's sometime. Yeah, actually, that's today. Actually, so.
Hello.
No, I forgot the date for a second. Hold on.
Yeah, it's the 18th.
Yeah, so
Oh, Jesus.
it's crazy that Crash Bandicoot, like this actually did release on Nintendo back in the day, and this was once known as a PlayStation franchise, and as the days go on, like PC is becoming the whole slate that it is, and it's crazy to think about the Crash Bandicoot franchise moving to different platforms. So are you guys interested in getting the PC version of Crash Bandicoot?
Not at all.
Easy ass,
No.
bro. Played and
No.
beat that joint already, man. It's a
Yeah,
little bit,
I'm-
you know.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, even though I
Said
own
it's a little
a console or anything like that, like, nah, I'm not gonna get it. I already got it on my PlayStation, so fuck it.
Yeah, I got it for free on
Facts.
PS Plus.
Mm.
Look at that. Look at that, Krow. You gonna get it?
I mean, if I had a Steam Deck, I think this would be pretty good, like
No, man.
to play portably. But yeah, for me, I'm not really too interested in it. But I'm just saying, like, the whole slate is coming up on the PC, and it's crazy to think that all of the PlayStation titles at this point are coming to PC.
That ain't a PlayStation
Um,
title.
Like, what do you mean?
That's Toys
Activision
with Bob.
That's the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's an Activision title.
Yes, sir. That's not PlayStation. Haven't owned Crash, bro, in years, though. Like,
Yeah, okay. So, at this point, what would you say is the mascot for PlayStation? Like, would you say
I
it's-
would say Nathan Drake,
Yeah.
Kratos,
Yeah, for sure.
Ellie. You know what I'm saying? They
And
they even
Aloy.
trying to put Jin. They even trying to put Jin on the
Oh,
bottom.
true.
Jin and Aloy, though, are good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're solid.
I don't know why people. Yo, I'm not trying to dig knee deep into this because, like, yeah, I ain't trying to hear Krow and Joker. You making the podcast go 3 hours. But Aloy, to me, I don't understand the love people have for Aloy as a character. I understand people liking Horizon Zero Dawn because there's a pretty deep narrative there. But Aloy's character, bro, she dry as wallpaper, bro. Like that shit is just so dull, in my opinion. I don't really know.
I think honestly, I think people like her because she's not like the stereotypical stuff that we've been seeing the last 20, 30, 40 years.
You're
You know
right.
what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
And while like while we have our reservations about it, I mean, I think she's a fine character. I like the whole bluntness. I like the whole like, get her done attitude
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I do think that she is unlikable for the majority of the story in Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
But it just seems that she is definitely found a niche audience or found just a worldwide audience, and
I have a question for you, Deli.
it's cool.
Just real quick, I don't want to pick your developer brain. How much
Go
money
ahead.
do you think Guerrilla Games paid Blake Griffin to
Shit.
audition for Aloy's face model? Because Aloy looked just like Blake Griffin, bro. I promise. you.
Blake, hey yo, chill. Hey yo, chill.
That's the second baby that's unclaimed. Hello.
Oh.
Uncorroborated claim.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably like 100K.
Easy. That's more money than what
Dang, that's
Platinum
crazy. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So you're telling me a face model actor gets paid more than a VA actor? That's
that was a
crazy,
joke.
man.
It was a
Bro,
joke, bro.
Okay.
You know,
Alright.
you know who Blake is?
All right, so yo,
My bad.
so let's move on to Persona 5 Royal. It's about time that Persona 5 Royal is coming to Xbox and Switch and PC. So I know Deli has put out over 200 hours in Persona 5. It's definitely he did
Yeah,
he
in
did
both of them.
platinum the game on PlayStation, which is an incredible feat. So what are your thoughts on more people getting to experience Persona 5 Royal?
I mean, I love it. I think that, as the global audience grows, especially with Persona 5 being like the big catalyst for like the worldwide audience that we know and now love for Persona, I mean, I think it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, who doesn't love like a 95 Metacritic game? It's best in the series. I don't care. Don't at me.
I love how you threw that score in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so out of the cast, who is your favorite of this the Persona cast?
Makoto.
Okay. Yeah.
Makoto?
No,
Yeah, Makoto.
no. I feel
What?
like
Are we fighting right now?
Makoto?
Or come on, man. Go ahead.
You're
Pick
not
your
about to
piece.
tell me Makoto.
He's the next subject.
Hey, get him out of here.
You
Get
not
him
gonna
out of
tell
here.
me Makoto is over on, bro. You're not. You're not.
Dude,
right?
she is the brains of the group.
Okay,
She is
cool.
way smarter than On.
What
That's
about
cool.
that doctor, though?
That's cool. But
That
that
is
doctor
pretty
was hot.
Yeah,
I
That
got
is pretty cool.
That's my pick.
But first, let me put my foot on
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, Makoto is the Braves, right?
With
But
your
yeah,
size sixes,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Okay, just
I got the
My
size
damn,
Little
bro.
baby feet.
He said 5'4", acting like he's 6'2". God
I
damn.
couldn't figure out how Deli act like he. This nigga act like he ain't right there with me. But nah,
I'm
but,
5'4", all right.
but nah, bro. But just I don't know, bro. Ant or On, bro. The Red Panther skin tight suit. Hey, bro.
Bruh, this
it's-
motherfucker is a straight.
it's-
I see you looking at booty cheeks.
And
Yes, sir.
It's
That's
so
what I care about.
basic though.
Booty cheek, booty cheek, booty cheek.
Booty
You know what I'm
cheeks. I knew it.
Nah, but it's dope to see Persona 5 going other places, man. It's really dope, and I know I know for a fact Krow remembers like 2017, 2018. People on the Switch have been waiting on this game for 5 or 6 years, bro. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they was begging for this game, a while ago, and it's just pretty dope. You know, it's pretty cool to finally see these games going everywhere. And I'm pretty sure Friday, whenever this game drops, you're gonna see the numbers. People are gonna love this game, and I'm glad more people get to actually play it.
That's a good point. It's nice to see
Yeah.
that the love for the franchise hasn't died. Like there's still pretty strong community behind it.
That's true.
Yeah,
and it's a
yeah.
long ass game too, so they're gonna have fun playing this game all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think that the most who's going to benefit is Xbox and Nintendo. Like with Xbox being with the Game Pass, being this is a very long game, I do think they're going to be benefiting off of Game Pass for maybe 2 or 3 months. And
Yeah.
It's crazy that you brought up the sales numbers, because I do feel like Atlas, they're still the best when it comes to JRPGs. With SMT5, they did put out a lot of sales on the Switch for SMT, and as well as Persona 4 Golden when that came out on Steam. It was just pretty surprising to see all the sales figures for that game. And Atlas definitely is it's definitely a good studio when it comes to these JRPGs. And even with this game coming out after several years later, a lot of critics are still praising it as it's a very unique stylistic action combat with the turn-based battles, and the cast that you meet and the cinematics are definitely up there as well.
Yeah, it's
So
dope.
it's definitely a good time.
Hey, yo, how dope, with all these announcements coming out this week, we got Silent Hill, we got RU4 announcements. How dope would it be for Atlas to shadow drop a Persona 6 teaser on Friday, bro, when this shit drops? How
Oh
dope
my
would that be,
God.
man? I would lose my shit. I'm telling you.
I can already see this shit happening on Twitter, bro.
He'd be
Yo,
like
joke.
screaming everywhere.
Yo, Joker. And it's also been rumored that Atlas is gonna finally give us a female protagonist with a
Oh
big
my god! Oh my god!
old
Damn,
rockstar style, baby.
bro. That my Twitter timeline is gonna be just bam filling with booty
That's
cheeks
it.
left, right,
That's
and
it,
center, bro.
man.
Bro, I can
And-
see that shit happening.
I'm already afraid for the Batgirl pictures that are gonna start
Hey,
popping up.
hey,
man.
listen, just call me Simp V3. You know what I'm saying? My bad, Crow.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, sorry, you're gonna have to chill for a bit, but let's actually go for let's go for the next topic, which is Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. And so actually when the first game dropped, when it was first announced, and when they were showing the rabbits and everything, I wasn't digging it at all. And these little suckers are pretty annoying, man. With the whole rabbits thing. But being a huge XCOM fan, on PC, I do have over 200 hours in XCOM 2, and XCOM 1 was also pretty fire as well. They are actually incorporating the whole turn-based strategy element of the XCOM franchise. But what they're doing here also is that they do have the high budget cinematics in between the levels, and the whole the whole overworld aspect that they have going on is pretty cool to play around with. They do have some small puzzles here and there, And this is definitely one of the best Switch games in my opinion. Visually speaking, and the gameplay is pretty solid as well. So would you guys be interested in Mario Rabbids, or would you be waiting for a sale for the Sparks of Hope sequel?
I want to get the sequel to the Mario Rabbids, but I haven't beaten the first game yet. I'm kind of stuck on a boss right now. I'm trying to figure out if I really want to take the L and take the easy mode on this fight just so I can continue the game. But this game, since it's a Ubisoft game, will go on sale for a really low price. I've seen the first Mario Rabbids go on sale for like $20, but it's a really good game. Like, if you are into strategy games, like, definitely pick this game up. But I'm gonna wait until I beat the first game before getting to the second one.
Yeah, I'm right there with Melodic, man. Like, I played the first game, and then I put it down for something. I forget what, but man, like, the game is beautiful, the world is beautiful. How Ubisoft has incorporated the rabbits into the Mushroom Kingdom is absolutely dope, man. But just like I forgot who said it. I think it was you, Melodic, who said that Ubisoft games will be going on sale hella fast. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you can
facts,
wait
yeah.
for Black Friday sale. If you can wait for Black Friday sale, I'm pretty sure that you can probably grab this game for $40-$45, and that's
Yeah,
probably
'cause
what I'm doing.
It's around the corner.
Like, Nintendo published games never go on sale, but this game is published by Ubisoft. Trust me, you will see this game on sale. I've seen this game on
Yeah.
sale plenty of times.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean
That's great.
that's how I got the first game. They came with the gold edition with all the DLC, and that was actually a pretty good deal. And yeah, like you said, I mean, all of the Ubisoft games, they do go on sale. Just wait out for the summer sale or the I think they do the summer sale once a year, and they have a sale in the winter, I guess. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the Black Friday joint.
Yeah, that's for physical. Yeah, with the store
talking about
retailers.
Digital?
I'm talking about digital. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Hmm.
I don't know if Nintendo will put that joint on sale digital. I mean, you know how Nintendo is, bro.
Yeah, but you can find that game on sale all the time on physical. So,
Bet.
at least the first game. Excuse me, I'm like eating pizza during the podcast. I'm being very
Right,
disrespectful.
he's been
I'm hungry.
he's,
I'm
every
hungry.
time, every time, every
Man, bro,
time.
You had to
every
say
time.
what you were eating.
Y'all really find this man at dinner time, bro.
I'm hungry, dude. I
Don't worry
didn't eat
about
lunch.
it, Melania,
I'm
bro.
hungry.
I just had pizza myself, fam. Hey, man, don't even worry about it, man.
Okay, so yeah, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This releases October 20th, which is this Thursday, and the Metacritic reviews are looking pretty solid for this as well. And yet again, Nintendo, they have like nine or eight, I think, first party titles for this year, and they're definitely killing it this year. And they also have Bayonetta 3 coming the week after. So it's a pretty solid year for Nintendo. And actually, I do want to get into the next point here, and this is the trending topic on Twitter. And so this user, Helix0, he did say a question, and his question was, why are people so afraid of remakes or remasters? You don't need to buy them, and you can still enjoy the original. And if you remember, like the remasters that happened back in the day, we had the Spider-Man remastered fiasco, where people had the common gripe of Peter's face change. They weren't vibing with his face model change at all. And so how do you guys feel about this question that he stated here? Are people afraid of remake or remasters, or how do you guys feel about that?
I think it's a
just
pretty
think it's
dumb
ignorance.
question. Yeah, I think it's a pretty dumb question, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
scared of remakes or remasters. I think it's just us as gamers, we're tired of getting the same shit shoveled back in our face over and over again, when we could be getting these studios allocated to making a brand new game or working on a brand new IP instead of going back, for example, working on a PS4 game that came out in 2017, when there's many other IPs or older games that deserve a remaster or a remake treatment. So that's just what I think about it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I just feel like it's just milking that fucking cow to the extreme, and I'm just like getting tired of looking at this fucking same thing over and over again. Like, honestly, like, look at, for example, right? You can fucking remake a Jack and Daxter fucking game, bro. I would fucking pay for that shit just to see that in my fucking console, fam. But no, not getting that.
Yeah, like back a couple months ago, I went on eBay and From Software released a game called 3D Dot Game Heroes on PS3, and it's like a 2D Legend of Zelda game, but it's like in this cool like 3D like environment. I'm sure some of y'all have seen it before. I'm like, if any game deserves a remaster or a re-release, it's something like this game, because I got lucky enough to not pay more than $60 for this game, but it's one of those PS3 games that is going up in price. But here we are, where there's talks about them remaking or remastering Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's like, dude, the PS4 version already runs 60 FPS on PS5. Who's asking for this?
Yo, shout out to Cassie in the chat called Classic Cage. Finally got your name right without a tongue twister. Appreciate you pulling up here. She did make a comment here. To be honest, I look forward to the remakes and remasters because new concepts usually just don't interest me for vast reasons. We did have the Last of Us remake, and a lot of people had their gripes with it. Is this worth the money for the Last of Us remake? All
those remakes serve a double purpose. They're educating and basically bringing in the new generation that didn't get a chance to play those games. They're bringing those in while simultaneously they're pulling on the heartstrings of everybody that did play it back then and be like, hey, replay it with newer graphics. A lot of people don't care because it's still the same story, but I will say I'm one that if I want to go back and play a game, I'll play it, but part of me also hesitates playing any retro games and stuff because I'm like, damn, bro, this is worse than I thought it was. Me as a kid definitely enjoyed this shit a lot more than me as an adult.
Yeah, them nostalgia dogs are pretty real.
Yeah, so being able to at least play those versions in more updated graphics, and some of the work that gets put into these remakes is honestly insane. The fact that some people are complaining for the price and everything, I think that's just a small minority that this, squeaky wheel gets the grease. They bark the loudest, and anybody that thinks it's a real issue, I don't really think it is, to be honest.
Yeah, especially if a game has like quality of life features. Like, I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I got the Wind Waker HD remake when it first came out on Wii U, and that was like the day that I got my Wii U. And one of the things I did not like about the original Wind Waker release is the Triforce quest at the end of the game, where you have to go find the Triforce chart. You can't read the chart.
Go back to
get all this money. Go to Tingle. Decipher the chart. There you go. Go outside. Find the piece. And then rinse, wash, and repeat. They made it in that game. You have the fast sale that you can get at the auction. You can go and find where the original chart placements were at, and you just find the Triforce piece and everything. So, like, I welcome remasters and remakes if it like improves certain aspects about the original game and just makes the game overall better.
Yeah.
But like with Last of Us, for example, it's just like, I mean, yeah, it's great that we have all these new features and everything, but it's really just a graphical facelift. But outside of that, though, like the great thing about a remake or a remaster is if you haven't played it, it's new to you regardless.
Yeah, I mean, those are all good points, and while I agree with y'all, I still gotta disagree to just it wouldn't be a podcast if I wasn't in this bitch disagreeing. But just for me, right, I look at it like this: imagine if Naughty Dog didn't decide, okay, you know what, let's branch away from Uncharted and let's start making this new IP. You know what I'm saying? It comes in The Last of Us. Let's say Guerrilla Games never decided to branch away from Killzone to make Horizon. You know what I'm saying? Again, let's say Insomniac decided, to just never take that Spider-Man contract and just stay on Ratchet and Clank. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never would have got Sunset Overdrive or Spider-Man. I can keep going. Let's say Sucker Punch decided to say, you know what, let's not, branch away from Resistance. Let's not, stop working on Infamous. And then we never would have got to Ghost of Tsushima. So it's like, for me, I welcome these new ideas, these new games that can be made if you give these studios time and resources to make them. But I mean, remasters and remakes, I'm cool with those if as long as, just like Melodic just brought up that great ass example of the Wind Waker, bro, as long as it's implemented in that way. But I feel like there is no quality of life changes or anything that could be improved upon for Horizon Zero Dawn, because that's not a super old game that I feel like really needs anything changed with it. But that's just how I look at it, man.
So would your opinion change if, let's say, these remakes aren't the primary focus? Like if they just have like a secondary team working on that while heavy hitters are working on new IP or something?
The only way I could probably answer that question, man, is if I could look into the future, because the only way how I can give you a definitive answer is if I know what's coming or what could be coming. You know what I'm saying? Because if I know Sony isn't working on anything new, of course, I'm gonna be cool with just getting remakes and remasters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have an issue with that. But if there's any doubt in my mind that, you know what I'm saying, Guerrilla Games could have been working on something brand new instead of giving me a Horizon Zero Dawn remake or remaster. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I agree in certain aspects, and definitely, man. I'd love to see like older IPs get revived and come back into this generation of freaking graphical fidelities and all of that shit to see it and make use of all the hardware capabilities can offer. And at the same time, I also agree with Bam when it comes to like new ideas. Like I would love to see, like, for me, I see the artistic and the visual aspect of things. So I would love to see what they can come up with, like a new game, what kind of story it's going to have, the background and shit like that. Like, I'm always up for new ventures. So yeah, man, definitely. I'll be more than hands down to let the studios have their own creative juices running through their veins. You know what I mean?
This is definitely a really good conversation, man. And like I said, I agree with all y'all's points, man. This is really a tough conversation, because just like I said, man, unless you know exactly all the information and stuff that's going on, there's really no way to either way to scale for remakes or against remakes and remasters. There's really no way unless we know what's coming down the pipeline or what could be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely made a good point, Bam Bam, and I'm gonna have to change your intro the next time because you're not the good homie anymore. But hold on.
Oh no.
That's right.
No.
Yes, sir.
He's a big hoe. He's not a good homie. He's a good hoe.
So anyways, I do appreciate the your anti point there. You definitely made a good point, and what Classy Cage said in the chat. These new ideas just don't interest me, and Bam Bam, you did point out that Ghost of Tsushima, and a lot of people had mixed opinions on Ghost of Tsushima. Some thought the combat was bland in that, and it's unfortunate that they didn't go rating R for Ghost of Tsushima, so I think some people had some gripes with that as well. But the whole, the open world aspect and the fact that you get to, they did introduce some unique elements in that, and the whole Japanese culture, I thought that was pretty good in that. But yeah, like not everybody is going to vibe with the new IPs, and you definitely made a good point with that one.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm here for, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let me disagree, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, you guys definitely killed these smaller topics, and let's move on to the first main topic of the day, and it's going to be the Plague Tale Requiem. The critic reviews are out, and apparently this got a 83 on Metacritic. And yeah, so a lot of the console folks in the community are upset that unfortunately this is only running at 30 frames per second on the consoles. And if you look at these other markets outside the US, the fact that you have to pay $600 plus for a console and you're expecting 30 frames per second games, that's definitely not a good look, bro. And I did find out the PC requirements for Plague Tale Requiem. And apparently, if you want to run this at 1080p low settings, you need to have an AMD FX 8300. That's a very old processor. And you also need to have a GTX 970. So that's pretty reasonable. The recommended specs, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 3600, and the video card being RTX 3070. So the recommended is I believe that's a 1080p 60. So what these consoles are capable of, actually, they are running at 40 frames per second on 1440p. And so this is it's definitely a visual showcase what they're doing here. I believe they're they're making advanced lighting techniques and shadows and things like that. That's hogging down the CPU. But I do want to pass it over to Agent Deli. Why do you think this is such a demanding game? Like, just by looking at the visuals and the trailer.
I mean, it probably just comes down to the amount of post-processing effects that are, in the game. I mean, it's highly detailed. I mean, they're making bigger worlds than they were in the original game or in the first iteration of the game. Way more effects, fire, wind, grass effects, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can just imagine that they're going for something a little bit more bombastic this time around, and cranking that all the way up to 11. I mean, I'm sure they compromised on 30 and saying like, oh well, we don't necessarily want to do it, but this is how it's gonna have to be if we want to run things properly. Because if they can't hit the 60 target 24/7 or the 60 target at an acceptable, what's it called, quality that they think is worth doing justice to their product, then yeah, they can go to 30. Personally, me, I have no problem with 30 FPS as long as it's a technical showcase. I mean, my biggest gripe would be that as long as it serves the gameplay, and if the gameplay is something a little bit more slower or whatever, and a little bit more narrative driven, a little bit more cinematic focus, then I think it'll be completely passable. But I mean, I'm obviously not asking to play Call of Duty in 30 FPS,
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that as a game developer, there are compromises that we have to make in order to deliver on our vision. So if I was working on this project and somebody came up to me and say like, if somebody came up to me and say, hey, we want 1,000 rats, in this level, and I'm like, we can't do that, without reducing it, it's going to run at 45 FPS consistently. So then there's the conversation like, well, do we reduce the amount of rats? Do we, have the rat models running around at 240p? Like what is the compromise here? And so as we have that conversation through and through with everybody, they'll come back to me and say, hey, we can bump the quality and then reduce the target frame rate down to 30. Is that cool? And I'm like, oh, it'll run at 30 consistently. They'll be like, okay, cool. Well, keep the rats, add more lights, do whatever, and push it so that it hits that 30 FPS target, versus something along the lines of like, well, this is a very gameplay centric game, right? So something like Horizon Zero Dawn, something a little bit more, fast and frantic, something like Tomb Raider, they'd probably go with a more focus on 60 FPS. So they'd probably say like, oh, we can definitely cut the ground textures here. We could probably make the levels smaller. We could change the lighting effects. We could reduce the shadow quality. We could take out all the particle effects. So no smoke, no fire, no water effects, none of that stuff. So yeah, there's a variety of things that we can do, but I think that at the end of the day, that conversation inside the studio was to target whatever it is that they wanted to do. So if this was, close to their dream or close to their vision, then yeah. And I saw that a lot of the VR stuff runs at like a consistent like 40. So it probably was something along the lines of like, we could hit the 60 FPS target, but there would be, we would have to compromise on like 30% of our vision. And maybe that was just way too much. So they'd probably go like, oh no, we're keeping that 30 FPS target.
Yeah, you definitely made a good point with how the game functions. And like, would you say this game is kind of similar to the original Hellblade? Like it's kind of like a slower paced game, right? Like Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, would you say it's kind of like that?
Yeah, I would say it's something. I mean, when I played the original game, there was a lot of like the first few hours were very narrative driven, very point A to point B. There was bits and pieces of combat here where I was shooting an arrow or whatever it may be, but majority of the time I was following Hugo around and walking around and making sure that I'm like navigating through these levels just by walking, right? No combat, no nothing. It's just mostly dialogue and narrative driven focus and cinematic focus. So yeah, I think that when I saw that 30 FPS target here and on Requiem, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like I don't, again, I'm not bothered by it because I think as long as the game is like properly beautiful, properly a technical showcase by my standards, then I think it'll be fine. But I do understand that a lot of people think that 30 FPS is not going to be acceptable this generation, which again, it's completely fine. I understand that that's your standard, but to me, it doesn't bother me. And obviously, it's closer to whatever the devs imagined, and or can, you know, happily compromise on a middle ground for. So I'm more for it. I'm, you know, more power to it.
Yeah, and I remember playing the first game. That was definitely you know, it's a pretty demanding game on PC as well, and it was a pretty good visually, you know, visual showcase of a game. And I remember taking, you know, a lot of screenshots, and the way the lights bounce off the objects, it was pretty breathtaking for its time. And I'm hearing that, you know, the Plague's Tale Requiem is also you know, pushing the limits of the next gen gaming. The fact that, you know, the graphics and fidelity is definitely up there. So, you know, I'm definitely intrigued to play this on Game Pass for PC. So you know, hopefully the app this time around doesn't crash that often with the PC Game Pass, but you know, I'm definitely intrigued in trying this out. So are any of you guys interested in you know, picking up you know, this Plague's Tale Requiem?
Yeah, I've been playing it on and off today. It's pretty good, and this is why I hate whenever Deli goes first, man, because Deli always hits all the points. But it's just like Deli said. Me as a console gamer only, I don't play on PC. We just came off the end of last gen, where most of our experiences was 30 frames to 40 frames anyway. So 30 frames for me, it's not an end all be all. It's not a point of contention for me unless it's a multiplayer game. I need that 60. I need that 120 on my multiplayers. But for a game like this, to where you just like legit, you're always with a companion. You're just walking around with either Hugo or Lucas, and it's really no fast-paced combat at all. It's not like Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, I feel like that game should definitely be 60. But for this game, it's so slow-paced and story-driven, to where the only thing that's moving fast is legit Master Splinter. Like, you see like millions of Master Splinters just running across the screen. It's just nothing but rats. Those, like, that's the fastest thing in the game. So this isn't. I don't think it's that big a deal. I can see why people are upset. You know, they pay $500 for a box that they feel like should be playing games at 1440p 60, 4K 60. I mean, games just aren't optimized. I guess dealing with these engines, I guess games just aren't optimized to be able to hit that 4K 60 yet. But I don't see any reason why we can't be hitting 1440p 60 or 1080p 60.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a feels bad, man, for you know, for Arkham Knights. You know, I'm not sure what the devs are doing over there, but that's sad that they couldn't hit the 60 target, and especially with the multiplayer co-op as well.
Yeah, that's tragic, bro. I would have loved to see Batgirl, you know, fighting in 60.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So moving on. I did want. Sorry, we have a lot of topics. I just wanna. Yeah. Yeah. My bad. But let's move on to the Mario movie criticisms. And yeah, it looks like the internet is against the whole Mario movie, and for a lot of reasons. Because initially people were like, oh, first they were like, this Mario doesn't have like it doesn't have enough cake, or the or his cheeks aren't that big compared to this the original game's Mario.
What are we doing right now, Krow?
But pause.
This is what we talking about, man.
I do not want to talk about Mario's ass.
But we have a new development right now where actually a VFX artist did compare the original model of the movie with the actual how it's supposed to look on the game. And so if you look on the stream right now, I have it right here. So apparently they are trying to make Mario less Italian, and I feel like this is because of the Chris Pratt voice actor being voiced as Mario. So how do you guys feel about them making Mario less Italian, or not as not as a point for point comparison to the video game? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, with Mario, like if you look at the cartoons back in like around the 80s and 90s, like they always even like the crappy Hotel Mario game on Philips CDI, they've always portrayed Mario and Luigi as coming from Brooklyn, New York. So like when it comes to the voice of Chris Pratt, I can't really necessarily critique it. I don't think it fits Mario that well, but if he is kind of going for that New Yorker like Brooklyn accent, I think it could possibly work. Obviously, like I don't know what the conversation was with, trying to make him sound less Italian, like the way Charles Martinet is doing it. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's just more they're going to try to go for the more New Yorker Italian instead of going for the Italian. You know what I mean?
See, I thought that. I was going to say, I just thought the studio was trying to be politically correct.
Probably
You get me?
that too, yeah.
Because you got to think of it like this. Like, Mario, even though we love the franchise, I could see people complaining left and right, and they're like, "Oh, so they left this stereotypical. It's got to be an Italian guy that looks like a plumber and shit like that,"
I got a question real quick, right? For everybody who's ever played Mario games, how much dialogue have we ever heard from Mario? I can't think of any Mario game to where we've heard Mario speaking throughout the whole game. It's always been Yahoo!
Well, there's Hotel Mario, but we don't talk about that game.
You're totally right though. Like, you might think of the live action Mario movie. That's the most you ever heard him talk before.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, yeah.
We don't talk about
dark times in
Mario
gaming
movie,
history, but
and we don't talk about Hotel Mario.
So I'm just trying to figure out, right? Number one, when this trailer came out, I don't see why people was giving it so much shit, because it's like when you see how much life has been put into the Mushroom Kingdom, when you see how beautiful everything looks, the animations, the characters.
Yeah, bro.
It's
That'd be
like
fire,
the one thing.
A lot of identity
like,
shown there.
It's like, how do you take away from after you sit down and see that, after seeing like your whole childhood just come to life? Because I'm pretty sure we all grew up watching or playing somebody play Mario, right?
Hell yes.
How can you go away from that, being so angry and being upset that you heard Chris Pratt say a few words? Nobody. I don't know what his Mario could sound like based off 5 or 6 words. I need to hear more. And just on top of that, we have never heard Mario speak in full sentences before.
That's true. That's true. And the fact is that, like, bro, I seen people just want to shit on shit for no fucking reason, and I'm just like, you know what, motherfucker, your takes are just garbage. Like, why the fuck are you even talking right now? Like, why are you even tweeting shit like this is all fake outrage bullshit? Like, get the fuck out of my face, bro.
And the thing with this movie is, you look at thank God they got Shigeru Miyamoto as a producer in this movie, because a lot of this looks spot on to the games. Like, I was like, this is gonna be like one of the more accurate takes of it, like in terms of like, translating from the game to the screen. I mean, everybody else's voices. Jack Black as Bowser was pretty good. It works.
Yeah, that's really good.
Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, I was afraid of. I was like, this is gonna be really, really fucking stupid. But they changed the pitch correction on his voice, and it sounds like Toad. And I was like, you know what? This actually works. And then, like, without hearing too much, I can already tell you Charlie Day as Luigi is like, that's perfect casting right there. If you've seen Charlie Day in like Horrible Bosses or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
like, I can see him being Luigi. I was like, that's a perfect cast choice right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another person on Reddit actually pointed out that they are trying to make it to the voice actor counterparts in a way. We have one cool side-by-side image of Jack Black doing his I think this was a School of Rock movie, I'm not too sure, with the Bowser comparison, and that's pretty spot on what they did right in that scene for the trailer. Yeah, so how do you guys feel about them making these kind of changes? Like I do think it's pretty dope how they're gonna like do the whole facial animations matching with the original voice actors.
Like it fits for Bowser, like
Yeah, it's
Jack
awesome.
Black doing all these like mannerisms and stuff. Like it definitely fits that character. So I can't be mad at it.
Yeah. Bro, you know what I just thought about on the Mario voice? What do people want? Do they want like that one clip voice line and the entire like an hour long movie of a fucking Chris Pratt going "Let's go" and all that?
That's-
I'm not gonna lie, that would be
Italian.
really
Yeah,
stupid.
it's a good point. Yeah.
Bro, think
Yo.
about it. Or do they want an authentic Italian? Like, do you really want the Godfather in this bitch the entire hour?
Yeah, Windu.
Like, let's be honest, bro. Like,
Yo, get
Mario
your-
is not gonna fit any of these, bro.
Listen,
like,
listen,
I think a friendly voice that is kid friendly, doesn't scare people off. Like, you know, maybe he can rock some sort of accent, but actually just kind of go through. You know, like I don't want no New York mobster up in the screen sort of voice the entire time. Like, yo, that's not the friendly Mario. You get me?
No, listen.
what do
Put
people
Joe,
want?
make Joe Pesci the voice of Mario. That shit would be 10 out of 10 right there.
be
Let's go
hilarious.
to the fucking Mushroom Kingdom. Get Robert De Niro in there too.
Wild, man.
But I feel like people don't realistically look at that shit. They complain that that's not the Mario they know. But literally, the only thing, like Bam pointed out, the only thing they can think of is "Let's go" and all that shit.
Bro,
Like,
It's a me, Mario.
Bro, all they
yeah,
can
like what the
point
fuck are
to-
they gonna hear?
All they can point to is the Nintendo 64 game, legit.
Yeah.
Because everything else, because the old Mario TV show, just like what Melodic was bringing up, that joint was trash.
Mm-hmm.
All they can point to is, oh no, Mamma Mia, Yahoo! Bro. Do you
Yeah,
want to see
bro.
a whole movie with Mario just running around Mushroom Kingdom, following Toad, who's talking, fighting Bowser, who's talking, and Mario was.
Mario's gonna be in the corner,
Yeah.
like, bruh. But I will say this though, from a movie perspective too, kind of like I mentioned earlier, they're probably afraid of the political nightmare that all these other characters have proper voices being depicted properly, and then we got the Italian plumber being depicted in the most stereotypical, you know, like 70s way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
they're
that
probably
would
like,
be-
hey, like, how can we find a happy medium that won't make this guy sound like too authentic? Because too authentic would kind of ruin that Mario vibe. Sorry to say, quite frankly.
Yeah.
In,
And, like-
in either way, whether it be like a realistic Italian accent or whether it be the cartoonish accent that they gave him with those short voice lines, I
And,
don't
like-
think they were gonna hit a good medium. Sorry, go
And
ahead.
Charles Martinet is in the movie too, so it's like, I mean, it's cool that they're incorporating the original Mario voice actor and like a bunch of Easter egg roles and everything. It's like we've had like one guy depicting Mario for the past, you know, how long has Mario been out? Like 30, 35 years, going on to 40. Like, okay, well, yeah, 30 years if we want to go from like the N64 period where he's actually had a voice. Like, you know, it's kind of like, why not just like give it to somebody else and be like, okay, well, this is for a film purpose. It's not gonna do anything to disrupt the canon that is like the current game series. So it's like, I think they could have gotten somebody better for Chris Pratt, but I'm not going to complain about it too much because everything else in this movie just looks fantastic. And me and my nephew and my niece were probably going to go see this day one.
Yeah, regardless of how it is, I'm just gonna watch it. I don't give a shit, right? At the end of the day, when I sit there and look at all the people's opinion on Twitter and fucking Reddit is just garbage at this point. Right? Every single fucking hot take that they do is worse than what Twitter does. And I'm like,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, trust me, bro. It's like a rabbit hole that just goes in further down the fucking hole. You know what I mean? And yeah, fuck that. If you're gonna enjoy it, go watch the fucking movie. If you want to watch it, watch it. Don't fucking take anyone's, opinion. Fucking ruin the fucking thing for you. Just go watch it, bro. Have fun.
I had a fantastic idea. So you know how movie theaters sell popcorn and nachos and all that stuff? Give everybody mushrooms in that theater while watching the movie. Forget
okay.
about 3D glasses. That movie's about to be IRL.
What the hell? You mean like special candy mushrooms for
Yeah.
the event?
You're just sitting there. Now the cast is actually in the movie. Everybody in the audience.
Now, I will say, I'm not mad at people complaining about the physical model. Like, I'm okay with like the physical model resembling a little bit more like the OG and stuff like that. Just like the internet went crazy for the original Sonic release, right? I'm not mad for the internet to be asking for a more authentic look to the character.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think their expectations of the sound of the voice are really and I don't disagree with Bam that one line out of Chris Pratt isn't enough to judge his entire performance. I think they threw that. I think they threw that line in the trailer because back in the original unspoken Mario movie, that was a similar line that was said in the original one, right? So I think they try to throw that in there for nostalgia while also giving them a tweak, like a little sneak peek of the actual voice. But I think that actually did it more of a disjustice. Like if they actually would have thrown in several lines of dialogue, I think it might have got better.
Let's be honest though, the physical models in this movie look a million times better than that initial Sonic the Hedgehog one. Because
goddamn, yeah.
This is like spot on accurate. Of course, there's like a few changes made to kind of fit Illumination's style, but like it's not that far off from like how Mario looks on like promotional art and stuff.
Yeah.
They got the
I don't really
nose that
care
on.
about Mars. What's that?
They got the nose and the mustache that on.
I know.
That
It's like
doesn't change.
everybody complaining about the ass. I don't know what you're complaining about. That's just a weird thing to complain about.
Also,
Yeah.
Just looking at what Illumination did, right? I'm gonna say this one time, Crow, and then I'm gonna shut up, bro. Just looking at the end of that trailer, bro, when they showed Luigi running off away from those dry bones, if they not working on a Luigi's Mansion Mario movie, bro, I'm riding.
I'm there day one if they do Luigi's Mansion, or take Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong and
That's
make
a
like
real
a
moneymaker.
Peacock series out of it.
Easy, bro.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right, Crow. I'm done.
Yeah, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say, but no, I had a good point, but oh shit. Okay, let's see.
The
It's
cake
alright,
got him
bro.
good.
Yeah. Bam, just like.
Bad man was about to throw me under the bus. You heard him? I had a good point, but yo.
Bam, shut up, bro.
Right.
So the TheMelodicPunk did mention the original Sonic movie, and I think what they were trying to do here was trying to make a Mass Wyatt trying to get his character changed. But yeah, I mean, like compared to the original Sonic to this, the original Sonic was definitely dumpster fire. Like a lot of people shat on that, and for good reason, because like that looked nothing like Sonic at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that they changed it, and they were able to make a lot of profit in cinemas and in the theaters with all the sales going on. So definitely kudos to that team over there. They did a good job with Sonic and the sequel as well. So in terms of this in this topic, is there anything else you want to add to this one?
Go have fun, enjoy the movie when it gets released, and then give me your opinion. Till then, shut up.
Make me an executive producer on the Zelda movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. You definitely killed it, guys. And thanks for your suggestions for who you think is maybe a good replacement for Chris Pratt. But I do agree with Windu. We gotta see what Chris Pratt is capable of, and so let's see when it comes out. Hopefully it's good. A lot of people online are making this a big deal, like, oh, when the actual movie releases, I'm gonna need the dub version. Can someone help me out with that? Like, some people
the French version of that.
Some people are crazy, bro, online. Like they're asking for a legit Mario VA replacement, like a dub, the Mario dubbed movie after it comes out. So a lot of people are weird online, but hopefully Chris Pratt does a good job and turns out well. So let's move on to our next main topic of the day, which is the whole Helena Taylor situation with Platinum Games.
Here we go.
So yeah, before we go ahead with that, are any of you guys excited for Bayonetta 3, which is coming
I
up?
am.
later this
I am.
month.
I'm excited. I am super
Bayonetta's
excited.
awesome.
Ready for it.
Yeah, so can you guys elaborate or so is it going to be new changes to original Bayonetta 2 and 1 or like what intrigued you the most from this trailer?
I mean, to
More
me,
Bayonetta.
yeah, it's just more Bayonetta. Like the other two games are really good. They're a lot of fun to play, and it's kind of like a good break from things like, especially like just going into a really good action game. Because I feel like other than Devil May Cry, we really don't get action games like that a lot anymore, unless I'm like missing on some big release that just happened. Because like God of War kind of changed its direction, and then yeah, Devil May Cry. So like Bayonetta is just a good high octane action game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last character action game that we had was Devil May Cry, and then before that, No More Heroes. So, and then obviously Platinum Games has their own formula of character action games, so we've had a bunch of those in the past, in smaller forms. So, like things like Vanquish, but nothing on like a mainstream scale like this. So, yeah, I'm excited. I like the genre. Oh, and the other character action game that we had was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So, yeah, it's
With
been
Raiden,
yeah, so it's been like years apart between, a notable character action game to notable character action games. So yeah, Bayonetta 3 is more Bayonetta. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time for Bayonetta fans. I believe this game was in development hell for a while, so a lot of people were concerned. Is this going to release or is it going to be dropped? But fortunately, they did release it here. It's going to be coming up later this month. So let's go actually start with the whole ordeal here with the Helena Taylor situation. So as it turns out, first, she did put out 3 videos on Twitter explaining the whole ordeal. The first video described what she was, what she was offered and the fact that she went to school for acting. She went to a prestigious school, and she did elaborate on that. And she ultimately said, what is my worth to Platinum Games? And the fact that she was only offered 4K for their VA role was pretty as a huge disappointment for her. And apparently a lot of people dug into her history, and it turns out Helena Taylor hasn't worked on major VA roles since Bayonetta 2, which was back in 2014/2015. So based on her history, the fact that she's technically retired from the VA role since 2014, and Bayonetta 2 was her big accomplishment, and since that time she hasn't really had any big roles like Bayonetta 2. And so she did say the statement with her third video. I believe it's the second or the third. If you're someone who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions, then I urge you to boycott this game. So definitely a huge statement by her, and it's definitely it's an interesting topic here because the whole VA role across the industry, it's definitely looking pretty dire for those people who do work in the VA industry. I believe there was a Sonic Mega. This was also a VA dev who actually Deli pointed this out to me of this developer. This VA position that he actually worked with Breath of the Wild 2, and he was only paid about $2,000 to $3,000 on his position for the role. So a lot of people are getting snubbed over here, bro. Like it's definitely a harsh conditions. I mean, it's like a harsh job. The fact that they're not being compensated well for these roles. And,
I mean, I'll be real with you. I'd like to throw 2 cents in there because I'm not a Bayonetta fan, but I am from the audio world. Like I went to school for audio engineering and everything, and I think a lot of people also forget, like, let's say even $2,000 to $3,000. Like a lot of people might be like, oh, that's not enough for how much the game is gonna make. I mean, that's subjective. That really depends on what an actor brings to the table. We see actors in, actual movies get shitty deals sometimes, but you got to remember, a lot of people don't realize these are audio takes. Like this might be maybe 6 to 8 weeks of studio recording. Like at the end of the day, if you really sit here and be like, hey, you got paid $3,000 in like a month and a half, it's honestly not that bad of money, quite frankly.
I mean, that's what you
especially
have to
with
look at how many
physical
hours you
actors,
work, though.
they have more at risk when you're like filming a film on screen versus doing something in the studio. There's more at risk on screen.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Quite
that's true,
frankly,
that's
the
true.
harder work in a studio typically goes to the audio engineers and the producers and everything, because after the audio recording is done, they're the ones in the background going through all the filters, putting in compressors and etc. Like those it's 6 to 8 weeks that she might have been in the studio and got paid $3,000, or would have gotten paid $4,000 in this case.
But
Those 6 to 8 weeks is nothing compared to the audio engineering department that has to now sit there for the next 6 months tweaking everything and then be like, you know what, we got to bring her in, this line needs to get redone, she'll get paid for the the hour that she'll be there. But in the audio world, it's a totally different thing. It's literally by the hour, and that's what you're gonna get paid. And getting paid $4,000 to just do some voice lines in like I said, like a month worth of work, that's not bad in the audio world.
how many
it really
hours
isn't.
is you working doing those voice lines though? Like, and
Bro, those voice lines literally will be, let's say she'll go in for a session, she might sit there on a very strenuous session, she might be there a couple hours, legit. Because being in front of a mic consistently talking for 2 hours isn't any easy task, especially when they're full out acting and everything.
Yeah.
Like legit, an hour or two, be like, all right, come back tomorrow. I think we're done for today. Like,
did you see the information come out that said that they was gonna pay her $4,000 per session? So it was gonna be more than just one session.
Actually, I don't honestly believe that. Yeah, actually, Bloomberg did come out with. They did meet with. Supposedly, they did meet with the Platinum, but honestly, I don't believe that, bro. Like, it feels
You
like
don't you don't believe two credible news sources corroborating?
But you believe Elena Taylor?
So here's the
Yeah, that
thing.
makes no sense.
So here's the thing, right? If you look on the Jason I forgot
Jason
his-
Schreier.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
If you look at his post, he did mention that Helena Taylor did deny these claims. So I mean, it's a catch-22. Like, it's hard to believe either side, but I do stand by Helena Taylor's side, because, like, the thing is how can we really how can we really believe them saying after the fact, after she made the video and she did break NDA, and basically tarnishing her own reputation, but she's technically retired at that point, kind of pseudo retired, so she has nothing to lose in that case. And based on her emotions in the video, I think I do stand by Helena Taylor in this case.
No. I stand by getting paid. I stand by getting paid properly. If she's a union member, then those pay rates should be like $950 an hour, right? For the amount of time. I don't care if she works 80 hours or she works 2 hours, right? Pay is pay. But I think that when she published those videos, and mind you, it costs $0 to give empathy, right? So I'm on her side. Blah, blah, blah.
It's an argument of pathos.
Yeah, it's I want her to get paid, and I like her as the voice actor of Bayonetta. I have no problems with her, right? The problem is when you have a reputable source, again, also another reputable source, Jason Schreier, is saying, hey, this is not proper. And then I was like, yeah, Jason Schreier, he rarely misses. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is, right? And this isn't some like backwoods Reddit person, right?
Yeah.
This is a legit, he is putting his credibility on the line kind of deal, right? And he goes through a lot. If you've ever seen his work, or if you ever had him talk about his work or heard him talk about his work on podcast videos or whatever, he goes very in depth with his work. He doesn't just hear something, he has a lot of sources he corroborates and stuff like that. So when he published that, and then I was like, okay, yeah, it is, Jason rarely misses. Then when people like Steven Totolo and Andy Robinson from Video Game Central and Stephen Totolo is from Axios. So and former Kotaku. So those are also two more, from VGC and then Axios are two more reputable places that have corroborating Jason Schreier's reporting for this, sad and messy situation. It starts to get money, right? And that's when I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? It's crazy to think that there are two or three credible people in the reporting industry saying like, hey, this is not how it went down, and we can all back up Jason's claim. It's messy. It looks crazy, but regardless of how it went down or whatever it is, the debate still stands that she should be paid properly. So if she was offered 4,000 for, let's say, 100 hours of work, right? Let's just say 100 hours is blah blah blah. If she was paid 4,000 for 100 hours of work, and that is way under the her union rates if she's part of the union, then yes, she should be paid properly. But that extra stuff where she wanted 6 figures and royalties, that's between her and Platinum Games. That's none of my business. But just from what she's saying, hey, I'm underpaid, I stand by that 100%. She should be paid properly.
Like earlier, I was before you even started the podcast thing. We were just me and Melodic were just going back and forth regarding this conversation, right? So first time I came across the video was on Twitter because Dre, shout out the guy, big homie, he's in the chat right now. He quote tweeted what Cassie had posted too. So shout out to her too. But yeah, so when I first watched the video, I was there like, damn, is this really true? Like, I even commented like, yeah, bro, that's not enough. But then afterwards, as I progressively started collecting more information, and then afterwards having a look at it in the more logical point of view, right? And I was just like, listen, bro. First, I had to look into consideration as like, is that $4,000 as a whole collective? Or is it just every time she was brought into the studio that she was getting paid $4,000? You know what I mean? Because it's not really clear on exactly what the deal is like. The contract between her and Platinum Games is like, we don't know anything about this shit as much, right? So I have to look at it in that objective point of view. And contract-wise, it can be anything from $4,000 per studio time or £4,000 as a whole. And as a worker, as a thing, like I agree with what Deli said. I'm all up for getting that person the right amount of figures for the right amount of work. Yeah, morally, if that is true and she got paid $4,000 in total, morally that's wrong from the company, but is again, she had to, as a worker, when you go get a job offer, right, doesn't matter whatever it is, you will sit there and negotiate your contract for what your worth is and what your value is.
Exactly.
Right? And when you go in there, you're not. When I go to a job, and I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Yo, I'll happily take $10 an hour," because I know that my previous job I was getting paid $17 an hour. Why am I going to take $7 cut? If I'm not happy with the studio, I'm just going to go to a different place and look for a different job.
Can I throw an unpopular opinion out there? Because a lot of us here enjoying making content where we know that in the world of entertainment, what you're worth is also what you can bring to the table, right? Like what your influence is as well. You get what I'm saying? Like if your popularity skyrocketed and you got 10 million followers on Twitter, then you know what? Yeah, you're definitely going to be worth a little bit more. You might be able to land a nice 6-figure deal because of what you can bring to the table. And you got to think of it like this. Like, sorry, I just want to throw out there, like, when a lot of people sit here and say, oh, it's not fair, it also depends how much of an impact. And again, I'm not a Bayonetta character, like a fan. So I don't know how impactful she was to the role and if somebody else could have done the same thing, because that's all things that gets considered in the audio production room. But at the end of the day, I just looked her up. Her Twitter has 31,000 followers. I know I got a friend playing Fortnite that has more than that. Why is she worth 6 figures?
So
I got a lot to say about this whole scenario.
Yeah, just let me say something real quick, right? Just about what Windu said about the worth of an actor based on the series and the popularity, right? Let's take a second to remember, right? Helena Taylor is not the first victim of voice actors being mistreated or being underpaid
Yeah.
versus on what they think that they should pay for a video game and how popular a game is. Let's take a step back and look at Rockstar
a
Games
good
and look
point.
at how they treated young Melee, aka CJ from San Andreas. They paid that man
Yeah.
basically pennies for what they got for San Andreas. Let's take a look and see how Corey Barlog or how Santa Monica treated TC Carson, the voice of Kratos, in like 6 God of War games. And when 2018 came out, they didn't even get a man a phone call.
Yep.
So while I agree that she deserves more money, she's been in this industry way longer than what people have even known that voice actors was being underpaid or treated wrongfully or not being paid up to what they think they should be paid. This isn't new. She knew what type of deal she was in, and I can imagine that Platinum Games is not the only studio that's paying voice actors this low amount of money, quote unquote low amount of money based on what they think that they should be getting paid. So
Not at all. I mean,
that's-
you have great
all I-
stars, even like Mark Hamill, playing as a Joker for so many years,
Oh yeah.
that have gone on record saying that the actual industry in itself doesn't pay that well.
exactly.
And I think that's one of those
Yeah,
great
that's very concerned.
great things to bring up, that it's more about the awareness and how stacked against that industry is in the world of entertainment in general. Because unless you are a big budget actor like Dwayne The Rock Johnson or something like that, or Will Smith, prior the incident event and stuff like that, like unless you can literally shift the market and bring those big bucks yourself as an actor, it is a very cruel world in the voice acting world. Physical acting in the movies, you can go into even artists that with record companies. The entire entertainment world is heavily stacked against the entertainer itself.
I also
See,
gotta
That's
say-
something that goes on daily.
Then I'm gonna shut up and then I'm gonna let Melodic go. Right. I know you guys probably remember this around 2016, 2017, maybe even going at 2018. There was a huge debacle. Well, not really debacle, but there was a big argument within the gaming community about how tired people were of hearing Troy Baker and Laura Bailey voice all these characters in every video game it seemed like we touched, right? And I can imagine that it's because they know that they don't get paid that much amount of money, even though they may get more than $4,000. Since they actually go in and they put on a mocap suit and they do all this extra stuff. But I can imagine that since they know what type of industry that they're in and they know what situation they're in, that a voice actor should be trying to get every gig that they can get. And I remember I seen a post today and it said Helena Taylor has only been in 10 video games or something like that throughout her whole entire career. So it's like really her portfolio isn't even that
Like, she
massive
didn't-
where she should be getting millions of dollars for doing Bayonetta.
I look at it as she didn't market herself well enough, and also for the first movie, looking at the success of the first game, right, the Bayonetta franchise when it started off, when the first game sold off very well, then it was her choice on the second game to make a negotiation deal and come up with a better offer and make the Platinum Games give her a better offer, and I don't think that she did that. So, at the end of the day, it's all up to the voice actor on how you put yourself forward and what you can bring to the table. And I agree with most of the points that about you.
So let's hear Melodic Punk's point.
I definitely had a completely different take from majority of what people had to say on Twitter, and some people weren't happy about it, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff to back up my claim. At first, I was like, okay, $4,000 is not a lot of money. I agree, voice actors should get paid more. They should definitely get residuals on any role they have played, because a lot of their money is going to come from like going to conventions, doing autographs, all that stuff, doing panels. It's kind of similar to how if you're a musician, like playing live shows is going to get you, your main money, and not so much your album sales, especially if you're under a record contract. My problem with Helena Taylor is the fact that she influenced so many people and shared only one side of the story to cancel everybody's. Like, first of all, the fact that she told people to boycott the game, I think is dumb. She could have been like, hey, reason why I'm not in this game is because just deals didn't go through and everything. Shout out to whoever is going to be taking the reign. Just like, hey, I declined the job. I'm going to keep it moving. The problem is everybody's like, well, they were going to pay her $4,000. I'm like, okay, first of all, she did not take the job. She declined it. She did what any of us would want to do. She knew her worth. She was like, I'm sorry, that's not enough for what I think I should get for this role. I'm not going to take the job. People are complaining as if she took the job when she clearly didn't. So that's kind of like my big problem, number one. Number two, going on to like seeing other videos, like she was on a podcast. It was like a Nintendo UK based podcast that she was on. She literally said like, oh, for Bayonetta 2, I was literally in the recording studio for about a total of 16 hours. And I don't know if it was like 4 4-hour days or if it was 2 8-hour days. But she basically was like, okay, for that game, it only took me 16 hours of work. So if we were to go based off the $4,000 with the pay, whether or not it was going to be $4,000 for each session she was going to be doing, or just $4,000 total for the gig, $250 an hour, that's a pretty damn good payday just to sit on a recording booth and talk. And don't get me wrong, like as a vocalist who's recorded my own music and stuff, like there's a lot that goes into getting that right pitch, getting that right vocal tone, getting that right clarity, getting that right making sure you're not peeking into the mic. There's a lot that goes into it. So I can understand that aspect. But you come off as entitled when you're complaining about that amount of money, especially based on your previous work. And then I go on your IMDb page and see you have not done anything since 2014.
Facts.
So I'm like, okay, why do you think you should get more? Granted, yes, you're Bayonetta, okay, whatever. But we're not going to act like Bayonetta is like it's a known franchise, but it's not like explosive big like a GTA or maybe like a God of War or any AAA game like that.
Exactly.
So when you sit down and look at it, you have not done any work since 2014. So as your employer, I'm going to be like, what have you done for me recently? What? Hold on. Excuse me? How much do you want? And you haven't been working for 8 years? No, I'm sorry. We can't offer that deal. So it's just, that's kind of the whole thing. And of course, people are sitting there saying, well, she can't even afford to pay rent and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, she should have been working. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That's kind of how I feel about this situation. Every other voice actress out there who is getting underpaid, all of them are doing multiple. Yeah, all of them are doing multiple gigs at the same time. Like each time you do a voice role, that is basically a contract. That is a job.
Yeah,
like people like Roger Craig Smith. Look at Tara Strong's resume. Like she's done like any voice you can think of. Look at Jennifer Hale, Bayonetta's replacement. She has done things recently. She has a big giant resume. Steve Blum, he has a giant resume. Like all these people, they do multiple gigs at one time. So they're out there busting ass because they want to be able to make ends meet and be able to get out there and continue doing their craft. Yet you have this person who hasn't been working since 2014. According to IMDb, she may have been doing stuff in personal life, but you have not been working since 2014. So why should I feel sorry that you declined a job when Activision Blizzard, regardless, yes, a lot of us played the Modern Warfare 2 beta. Remember, last year they got reported that there's a lot of sexual harassment going on in that company. You had all these people that are crunching to release a game on time that are having to work 80-hour work weeks. You forgot Star Wars Battlefront, which actually is screwing over consumers when it comes to all these microtransactions and loot boxes. You got the whole Gotham Knights thing where it's just like you have devs talking it out against the gaming audience. Granted, like that's a debatable topic because there's a lot that goes into game development, which Deli can definitely educate us on. But you got them speaking out against the whole 60 FPS stuff that goes on. There's a lot of other issues that are going on in this industry. I don't have time to worry about some entitled actress telling me to boycott a game because she has not been working since 2014. Mic drop. I do not care.
Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely out of pocket what she said there. But people were making this meme. I did see this one meme calling her Bayonetta. The fact that she's demanding money, but yeah, I mean, if you guys say that this Bloomberg article is true, I guess I will side with that. It's definitely a problem that across the board, across the industry, that the VA position, they don't get paid that much. And the fact that she denied something that was above the average salary of this position is kind of...
I mean, I
it's
also
kind of pushing it.
I'm also siding with Hale as well too, because if they're lowballing Mrs. Taylor, then why would Hale take a lowball offer as well too, right? Like I don't know, it just doesn't. The whole situation is hinky. It doesn't really add up.
Right now it just...
We don't know how much Hale's been offered. She may have been gotten more because she's been like, okay, well, you've been doing more things recently and you're more up to date when it comes to stuff. We can spare you a few dollars. Like, I'm sorry, but Helena Taylor's in no position to be having negotiating power when you have not done a voice role since 2014. That's how I see it.
I mean, look at Jennifer Hale. You know, she's a very popular, voice actress, and she lives in a big metropolitan area. And I mean, she's at least making, $50,000 to $100,000 a year on average salary. That's just on her voice acting work, not even doing conventions or anything like that, or doing like TV or anything like that, right? So it's like, why would a company that's lowballing somebody go to a more expensive person or a more expensive and reputable person and then pay her that fair share because she's a union actor, right? Jennifer Hale's a union actor. So it's like, why would they do that and then proceed to pay her the proper price? It just doesn't, I don't know.
Doesn't add up.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up. This whole situation is messy.
Like,
Well, we don't even know the other side of the story, so there's like a lot we could speculate. I'm going based off what we know, because
I mean, I can only see what we know, but that's what if we compare apples to apples, which is voice actor to voice actor, and we look at reputation, we look at average pricing, we look at the amount of games and stuff, and we look at the fact that if they're both union actors, it's like they should be like one person is obviously is worth more than the other person, right? Mind you, they're both professionals, but in the world of professionalism, like comparing a professional to a consumer is pointless, right? Yep. You have to compare professionals to professionals. So somebody like Helena Taylor is compared to Jennifer Hale, and if you look at those two, there's a gap in professionalism, there's a gap in work, there's a gap in just whatever it may be, right? Like there's an obvious gap between me and Helena Taylor. I'm not a voice actress, all right, or I'm not a voice actor. But again, that's irrelevant information.
That's basically like comparing me and Deli. Is they like, who's a better developer? Of course, Deli's got a better fucking thing than my CV because I'm still an amateur and Deli's a professional. And if you look at his CV, the motherfucker worked in Legions, the Walked Out Legions, right? And you look at mine, I'm like, I just did small little fucking shit here and there. It's not even comparable. You know what I mean? So.
And the thing
in the world of voice acting, it literally comes down to influence. Because I guarantee you, The Rock made a shit ton of money playing Maui for voice lines, right? He wasn't the main role in the movie, but he was a pretty significant one. Maybe he spent like 2 months, 2-3 months doing voice acting, but I promise you, he got paid buku money because his Instagram has like 100 million. No, he's got 342 million followers. I just posted it in the chat, a little stat about
Paul Bettany. Also much bigger than Platinum Games, though.
Well, that's another thing worth mentioning. Like Paul Bettany for the first Iron Man, the voice of Jarvis, he got paid $100,000 for it. But at the same time, that movie made over $500 million worldwide. So in the grand scheme of things, he didn't make shit compared to what he could have.
I mean, obviously, but you never know because it's a job. It's a gig, right? If I hire you to be the voice of Iron Man, you're going to be like, sick, I'm going to make a butt ton of money. And then the movie bombs and you don't make, are you going to be like, oh, man,
I got a 6-figure right there. How would you compare this actress that we're referring to, since I don't know much about her? How would you put her in the scale of repertoire and experience next to somebody like Paul Bettany?
Yeah, I mean that's a sad reality.
He's been in movies like I mean, there's a bunch of them out there, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess, like when you put somebody like him that has the 6 figures that she's asking for for a role in voice acting, you put somebody like him next to her.
Right.
It is that experience because he's an experienced actor, not just an experienced voice actor.
Well, yeah, because Bradley Cooper did Rocket Raccoon. I'm sure he took less of a payday because he's not on screen. He's not at risk to his body being on screen or being on location. So I could see the differential pay between doing voice actor and being an actor in a Hollywood movie because it's the more higher risk, higher return sort of thing. But obviously, I'm sure they have their own set of contracts when it comes to that.
I'm just saying, like, when we compare peers to peers, that reputation and that gap does start to add up, right? Like, not everybody is just the same. Like, I mean, true. As much as we want to say, like, oh yeah, you're a union member, you get paid the same. Yeah, you get paid the same. Like, it's a base rate, right? But
both of them are in the union, Helena Taylor and Jennifer Hale, right?
So, I believe so, yeah.
Does she have a repertoire that is worthy of 54 different credits in movies, voice acting, actual in person, whatever, just acting, roles, credits, right? Like, does she have the experience and the repertoire of somebody like Paul Bettany, which literally got paid like the exact, like right at the bottom end of the six figures that she was requesting? Does she have that repertoire to be able to demand that, or is she getting a little greedy in a studio saying, you know what, we can find the work for less?
Yes, facts. Yeah, I did want to say, Windu did make a good point that this is, unfortunately, it is a sad reality for Helena Taylor. I feel like she kind of felt entitled into the role of Bayonetta, but so a lot of people did make the comment that in terms of the VA position, she's a small fish in the huge pond. The fact that Hale was able to put some decent work in on that trailer. I feel like she did trying to meet her match the personality of Bayonetta. Even though I'm not too familiar with the franchise, me personally, I do like Devil May Cry over Bayonetta, but like, judging by the trailer, I think she did a decent job, and she did match the personality and things like that. Yeah, that's a sad reality of the situation. Like, obviously, if a celebrity with a higher following and it brings more numbers to to your game or to your movie, obviously they're gonna be paid more than what she's asking for. So it is pretty sad for Helena Taylor's case, but I did want to ask Deli this, since he's actually worked on the game development side, and being a game developer, based on hearing his take on being a game developer, is definitely crazy with the amount of crunch you have to do every week. So I did want to ask you, Deli, did you end up getting any royalties at all with Watchdog Legions, or?
No, I get 0 royalties. I got paid for the job that I got paid. I got paid a salary or whatever. I did get a COVID bonus though. It was $180, and that was all I got.
Right. My
feels
work
bad.
does the same thing. My work does the same thing. Like, you gave me $100 for fucking Christmas. Like, okay, there you go. Thank you.
It was just a salary gig. They asked
Okay.
me to come do this, and they were like, "This is how much money you're gonna be paid," and that's that. And obviously, nobody advertises that you're gonna be working 80 hours a week, or whatever. So to me, I was like, okay, this amount of X amount of dollars is pretty decent. And then it got out of hand, and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna stay on for the gig and finish the job.
I think my main thing that kind of set me off with this whole scenario, especially when she was telling people to boycott the game, you gotta think about people who are actually developing the game and making a functional game, who have all this knowledge, who've had all this school taken care of, because game development does not sound like an easy task. The debug department, everybody in the studio, the people who are managing the development team and all that stuff. Why should this game have to flop and they have to suffer just because the English voice actor did not get paid enough? Especially when this is a Japanese franchise. What about the Japanese actors? What about the German actors? What about the French actors? That's one thing that kind of set me off, is just like, John St. John not doing Duke Nukem would be pretty jarring. I can see it through that lens, but when you think about everything that comes together to create a game, it's just like, the people who are actually sitting in the office, crunching away, developing the game, I'd want them to get rewarded for the hard work, especially with the issue that crunch goes on in the industry. I don't know exactly. I know Deli just said that he got salary for working on Watch Dogs, but I don't know how other studios do it, whether or not they get bonuses based on sales or anything like that. But that was just kind of like one of the other things that set me off, where she's kind of trying to fumble everybody else's bag and throwing the new replacement underneath the bus, saying that you weren't ever Bayonetta and all that stuff. It just set me the wrong way.
Yeah, I can totally understand. I think it would be pretty upsetting, especially if I was working on a third entry of a franchise, of a successful franchise. Whether or not you deem it successful is irrelevant. There's 3 games. They're obviously successful enough.
I'm surprised we got a third game, to be honest.
Yeah, same here. And so when you are working on this 3rd game or whatever it may be, and then let's say you want to work on a 4th game, or let's say you want to carry this reputation, hey, we're Platinum Games. We did, the award-winning franchise Bayonetta. If you screw up that 3rd game, or let's say this happened on the second game, right? And you screw the second game over, and the third game never got made because it didn't have enough sales. Then you just potentially screwed over 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, or whatever it may be, right? Because at the end of the day, games get made, like new games or new entries get made when they're popular enough, when they get enough sales, when there's enough metrics to say, yes, there are people who bought this worldwide. There are people who played this consistently. There are people who, bought the game full price and beat the game. There are people who bought this day one versus the people who bought this on sale. This game has, like Dark Souls, this game has been selling consistently over the last 10 years. Like, things like that. Like, there's a lot of metrics that go into making a sequel or greenlighting a sequel. So when you're like, boycott this game, it really, I don't know. It didn't sit right with me either to think that, we as consumers should be fighting on your behalf because of a pay discrepancy.
Yeah, but since this whole ordeal, I will say that this did bring attention to the whole, the fact that VA positions do get snubbed. I remember reading a while back that people who work in Japanese anime studios, they also get snubbed pretty hard as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole VA positions over there, and even the animators themselves, like starting out, you get like terrible pay, bro. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, so it definitely did bring attention to the fact that people are getting snubbed for these roles and they're not paid well for these positions. I do have to wonder, how challenging it is for these for these talented VA artists to find other gigs or other contracts. I do have to wonder on that aspect. So yeah, in terms of this this topic, you guys definitely killed it. But do you have any final thoughts, final statements on this topic?
Anybody that complained about this whole ordeal that wasn't going to buy the game regardless, or did it just out of a console war because they didn't like the other platform, fuck you. That's all I got to say.
I buy it if you buy it if you don't buy it, or
Yeah,
don't buy it if
exactly.
you don't buy it. Don't have somebody else influence your opinions, right?
But fuck you if you
like
don't care regardless.
Yeah, especially if you're out here frauding, So I'm gonna buy the game. I like the game. I like the franchise. I want the franchise to continue, so I'm gonna do my part and support it.
Absolutely.
I think the game will be fine. I don't think anybody that has only grown their influence to 30,000 is going to affect a major game like that. Personally, like it's good. It's good for awareness, but I like in general, like if the way that most of these people make their money is because they use the influence that they get from the game and get brand deals and stuff like that, right? Like kind of like Deli was mentioning, like the work that you pay up front isn't what helps you climb in the business. It's the fact that you added it to your repertoire and got a better next gig and etc. If she's mad that she didn't get the money that she wanted to do the same thing again, that's kind of up to her. She should have been working on her resume.
Yeah, most definitely. And so let's wrap up the show over here. And I just want to say appreciate the panel for pulling up, man. You definitely killed it. And let's go with our outros, and let's go with Agent Deli.
Yo guys, awesome show. Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate that. Yeah, just lovely being able to kick it with you guys, Joker, Krow, Melodic, Windu, obviously, Bam Bam. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out and making that show 2 hours long. Yeah, again, my name is Deli, former AAA game developer at Ubisoft. Now I hang out on Crow's podcast.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say, it's, I like to me, I feel blessed, bro. Like meeting you guys on Twitch, and you guys are putting up here and supporting me. I do appreciate that, and I just want to share everybody my awesome friends. So you guys are definitely dope, man. So I do want to. So let's go with the Joker Gamer V3. Appreciate you pulling up.
Oh, appreciate you for having me, Krow, again, and it was nice chopping it up with Deli, Melodic, Windu, and of course my big hoe. Bam.
Yes,
What
sir.
up?
I'm the tip. You the hoe.
Dickhead. But yeah, man. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter. And sometimes I stream. I'm trying to transition over from Twitch to YouTube, so hopefully that goes out well. But yeah, man. If you want to hit me up, you can always hit me up on Discord and Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And let's go with the good homie, WinduTheMace.
Appreciate you having me back, man. I know that I'm one to have a super busy schedule, but I appreciate these talks. Your podcast has been growing consistently. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that's been helping you throughout the whole process. And as far as me, man, I'm just out there on the socials, man. There's everybody make sure that you follow this podcast. That's all I got to shout out. But I appreciate the invite. I look forward to being here again down the road.
Yeah, man, greatly appreciated. You're definitely a humble guy, and I do appreciate meeting you. And we got the dope appearance of Bam Bam V3. Appreciate you pulling up.
Hey, yo, listen, man. I gotta say, I'm not a developer. I don't stream on Twitch like Joker. I'm not a humble guy like Windu, but I also don't love Zelda as much as Melodic. But it feels good to be back with the Dream Team, man. I see you got Deli back in, you got Joker in here, you got Windu in here, we got the reoccurring guests. Thank you for having me on, man. Thanks for letting me pull up late. I know, I wasn't on time, but hey, man, I appreciate everybody who came through, supported your podcast, man. Again, thanks everybody for pulling up. Hit the like button if you still here, and if you haven't, and tweet this out on Twitter, man. Again, thank you for pulling up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So real quick, I just want to appreciate everybody who shared out the last episode. That was definitely popping, man. I think that was probably my best episode as of late. Appreciate Cult Classic Cage for putting up on that show, and definitely an awesome time. And the topics were definitely lit on last episode, and you guys definitely killed it. Yeah, so you guys, whoever is in the chat over here, I do appreciate you guys staying for the whole show. Y'all are the real MVPs. But for those guys who do tune in later, I appreciate you, and make sure you share out the stream, and like and if you can give me your comments on Twitter or YouTube, I'll be greatly appreciated. And this is your boy, Theslykrow. This wraps up episode 23.
Yo, Krow, you ain't gonna let Melodic do his outro? Dang!
Right? Like,
Damn.
Oh shit!
yeah, wait. Hold on.
Wow. Should we boycott?
Oh, bye.
I'm boycotting Nest Talk.
Yeah,
It's a wrap.
Rap.
Shit, I'm not used to this many guests. Sorry. Yeah.
Man's gonna be able to request a whole $20, bro. Chill out.
Yeah.
Yo. So Melodic, appreciate your insight, and thanks for coming through.
No problem. Thanks again for having me on. Bam Bam pulled up Royal Rumble style, running into the ring.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate talking with Deli, Joker, and WinduTheMace again. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be really. I actually have an idea to make a video talking about the G4 situation, just because it's, as a viewer of the original version of G4, it's kind of like surprising to, well, not so much surprising, but yeah, to see it go again, it's definitely got me an interest to create a video of some kind. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna stream is, but it's getting cold outside, so definitely gonna be getting on some more games soon. I've been kind of taking it slow this year with personal life stuff and just promotion and getting into the playing live music again and all that stuff. So you can find me on Twitter at TheMelodicPunk. You can find me on YouTube at TheMelodicPunk. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I have not really talked to this guy as much online, but I've seen him in a lot of podcasts. I've seen him in a lot of different content creation circles. I've seen him on Twitter, but rest in peace to the Optimus Code, and prayers out to his family. Because I know he mentioned he was a grandfather, and he has kids and all that stuff, and it does definitely hit home as somebody who, not so long ago, lost my grandma back in 2020, and it definitely does hit hard. And seeing it happen to somebody in the community, prayers out to everybody, in his family, and prayers out to him.
Yeah, most definitely. And appreciate the panel for pulling up. Definitely a dope conversation, and you guys definitely killed the topics. So this wraps up episode 23 of Nest Talk. hope to catch you guys in the next one. And for now, sorry. So for now, you guys stay safe, and hope you stay safe from the cold weather. And take care. Have a good evening. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Stay healthy.